Hello everyone, I'm MVL and welcome to my video game pickups for June 2018. As per usual, gameplay footage included for every game on this list. And first up we have Plok for the Super Nintendo. Plok was just minding his own business when he found out his flag was stolen. The story takes Plok through a series of adventures to recover his lost flag. And it seems every level he completes gives him false hope of reclaiming his lost flag, the first of which turns out to actually be a pair of underpants. So our hero battles on to reclaim his prized possession. That's Plok for the Super Nintendo. And next up we have Crysis Beat for the PlayStation 1. I picked this up from Faceless Monkey in Truro. This is a 3D beat-em-up game that promises arcade action, and it was released only in Japan and PAL territories. I am a big fan of beat-em-up games, and this does not disappoint. If you are an action game connoisseur, then Crysis Beat is the game for you. Set on board a futuristic ocean liner, choose from 4 different characters to regain control of the ship, and confront some of the most devastating end-of-level bosses ever seen in an action game. And as the pace of action increases, you can make use of many objects scattered around the ship to defeat your opponents. You can play solo or 2-player mode for addictive gameplay. This is the action game that everyone has been looking for. That's Crysis Beat on the PlayStation 1. Next up we have Syndicate Wars for the PlayStation 1. This is a strategy game. You take control of a bunch of robots from an isometric view on a mission to seek and destroy. Welcome to the future. An urban hell where merciless cyborg agents and rebellious zealots fight it out for global domination. The game allows you to enjoy a vast arsenal of devastating weaponry as you battle through 38 missions of frantic action and cunning strategy. The game boasts the most realistically detailed and atmospheric living cities ever conceived. And you can plug in a multi-tap so your friends can experience the most explosive 4-player blast-em-up ever. That's Syndicate Wars for the PlayStation 1. And next up we have The Adventures of Alundra for the PlayStation 1. Another game I picked up from Faceless Monkey in Truro. And I'm very pleased that this came complete with the manual, a hints, tips and cheats book as well as a map. This is a wonderful role-playing game. The game plays out from a top-down perspective and the combat is in real time. So you can enjoy slashing and jumping around the monsters you confront in this game. In fact, the sticker on the cover from PlayStation Magazine gave this game 9 out of 10, citing it as one of the most enjoyable and addictive games ever to grace the PlayStation. Explore huge dungeons, find deadly weapons, solve challenging puzzles and fight the cast of foul creatures out to stop you in your tracks. This vast, enthralling adventure will keep you wide awake to the very end. That's The Adventures of Alundra for the PlayStation 1. Next up we have Die Hard Vendetta for the PlayStation 2. This is a first-person shooter game, and it notes on the cover it includes multiplayer mode and a making of. Take on the role of heroic cop John McClane. Protect and rescue Los Angeles citizens and his daughter Lucy, as this non-stop action-packed Die Hard storyline unfolds. Use your wits and everything else at your disposal to blast your way through LA's seedy underworld. The game features fantastic weaponry including dual weapons for more firepower and an awesome arsenal including night vision goggles, sniper rifle, submachine gun and more. That's Die Hard Vendetta for the PlayStation 2. Next up we have Dino Stalker for the PlayStation 2. This is a light gun game that is not on rails. Now the first level of this game has you parachuting where you can't move yourself and you are attacked by velociraptors. It feels very on rails and very traditional for a light gun game. But after that, when your feet hit the ground, you're free to move around and decimate everything around you. My only complaint is that the G-Con 2 is rather uncomfortable when you're using the D-pad. But having said that, I love light gun games and this is great. Who doesn't want to shoot dinosaurs? And the game promises just that, rampaging dinosaurs, heart-in-mouth action, and an array of devastating weapons for your free-roaming delight. That's Dino Stalker for the PlayStation 2. Next up we have Drakan, the Ancient's Gates for the PlayStation 2. This is a 3D action-adventure game. The immortal spirit dragons are being held captive in the ancient world of Drakan. Rin, a brave female warrior, and Arok, a fearless dragon of the elder breed, are called to save the spirit dragons and restore order. But sorcery, chaos, and sinister desert lords stand in their way. The game boasts a seamless blend of aerial combat atop a fire-breathing dragon and ground-based gameplay utilizing magical spells, ingenuity, and more than 50 powerful weapons. You can discover a world of magical creatures, mysterious lands, and courageous conquests. With a captivating storyline, stunning graphics, and intense battles through 8 vast environments, the future of humanity is at stake. That's Drakan, The Ancient's Gates for the PlayStation 2. Next up we have Maximo for the PlayStation 2. This is a 3D platformer. The game reminds me very much of Medieval in its style of gameplay and graphic presentation. It also reminds me of Ghosts and Goblins, as after you have taken a few hits, your armor is stripped away, leaving you running around the level in your underpants. In days of old, when knights were bold, Maximo the Good Knight has returned from war to find his kingdom taken over and his loved ones captured. On facing his eternal foe, however, Maximo is mortally wounded and sent to Hades, where the Grim Reaper awaits. The game features expansive, fully interactive 3D worlds. There's over 40 weapons and useful items for Maximo to utilize, and there are treasure chests that contain bonuses and traps for the wary warrior. I encountered this during the gameplay. Sometimes a chest contains a useful item like it should do, and other times it is in fact a monster in disguise ready to eat you, like a mimic from Dungeons and Dragons. Next up we have Darkwatch for the original Xbox. This is a first-person shooter. You are Jericho Cross, a deadly outlaw. But everything changed the night you held up the wrong train, unleashing an ancient vampire lord and a curse on the West. And one more thing. He bit you, and now you're half vampire, working with a secret society called the Darkwatch, and you're all that stands between the doom that threatens the West and your own soul. Imagine a mix of vampire horror and the Wild West. You can make use of supernatural powers and killer weapons, including powerful guns, dynamite, and assault vehicles. And the game includes multiplayer modes of 1 to 4 players in versus mode for split-screen fun. That's Darkwatch for the original Xbox. Next up we have Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy for the original Xbox. I recorded this gameplay from the original Xbox, but by the time you see this, this game will be backwards compatible on the Xbox One. This is a third-person role-playing game. Well, it's really a lightsaber hack-and-slash game, but it's awesome. Forge your weapon and follow the path of the Jedi. Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy is totally not a mouthful, and it's the latest installment in the highly acclaimed Jedi Knight series. Take on the role of a new student eager to learn the ways of the Force from Jedi Master Luke Skywalker before Kylo Ren goes ahead and ruins it all. Interact with famous Star Wars characters in many classic Star Wars locations as you face the ultimate choice. Fight for good and freedom on the light side or follow the path of power and evil on the dark side. This is a really good game. I used to have this on PC back in the day, and it's great to have a console version I can just put in and play instantly. That's Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy for the original Xbox. Next up we have Onechanbara Bikini Zombie Slayers for the Nintendo Wii. This is a third-person hack-and-slash game, and this entry into the Onechanbara series makes full use of the Wii controls. But I can't help wishing you had the option to use a classic controller for this. The game's tagline is Hotties Against Zombies, Sexy Samurai Swordplay using the Wii controls. You get to explore a vast city, killing tons of zombies. What more could you ask for? And the game supports 2 players for multiplayer zombie killing action. That's Onechanbara Bikini Zombie Slayers for the Nintendo Wii. Next up we have Conan for the Xbox 360. Not to be confused with Conan for the original Xbox. This is a third-person hack-and-slash game. And what says hack-and-slash more than a barbarian? The game corrects you on the common phrase the pen is mightier than the sword and informs you that swords speak louder than words. Because swords kill people. Experience the strength and savagery of Conan as you wage an epic battle across the lands of Hydorah. You can take on hordes of enemies and colossal bosses with a devastating array of fighting moves and combos. and you can decimate your foes using deadly weapons, environmental objects, and elemental magic. That's Conan for the Xbox 360. Next up we have Dynasty Warriors Gundam 2 for the Xbox 360. I'm pretty sure if I just described this as a Dynasty Warriors game rather than a hack and slash, you'd still know what I meant. The difference is that this one features giant robots. But it's just a cosmetic change, the gameplay is entirely the same. The greater the enemy, the greater the war. Take on hordes of enemies in signature Dynasty Warriors combat. Choose from your favourite Gundam characters and experience all new storylines. And battle gigantic new enemies or face off against your friends in online multiplayer. That's Dynasty Warriors Gundam 2 for the Xbox 360. Next up we have Rumble Roses XX for the Xbox 360. That's a lot of X's. This is an Xbox 360 exclusive Rumble Roses wrestling game. As far as I know, this game did pretty well in Japan, but did not do so well overseas. Now these games take their mechanics right out of the WWE games, and I imagine the creative process went something like this. I like this game, but could we make it all girls? But if we look at it in the best light, let's say it reminds us of classic women's wrestling like Glow. The game's tagline is all girl wrestling action, let's grapple. The game boasts features such as a career mode, Xbox Live Play, custom character creation, realistically modeled female bodies, and skills and physiques that develop depending on your style of play. There's tag team, street fighting, freeway battle royale, and humiliation matches, and much more. That's Rumble Roses XX for the Xbox 360. Next up we have Sleeping Dogs for the Xbox 360. This game is very similar to the modern Grand Theft Auto games, with big open world 3D environments to explore, and the promise of fast cars and racing to entertain you. What this game does expand upon, and very well, is the hand-to-hand combat. There's much more variety in the combat as you have the ability to counter moves, throw your enemies into things, and use the environment against them. As undercover cop Wei Shen, you are tasked with infiltrating and taking down a Triad Empire from within. The game promises a mature and gritty undercover cop drama, with Hong Kong as your playground, and it features martial arts action, gunfights, and brutal takedowns. That's Sleeping Dogs for the Xbox 360. Next up we have Dimension Drive for the PlayStation 4. This is the limited edition from PlayAsia and includes the game, a manual, an original soundtrack, and a certificate. And if you want to see that content in more detail, I did an unboxing for this on my channel. This is a fantastic and unique shoot-'em-up game for the PlayStation 4. During the game, you will be required to jump from one side of the screen to the other to attack your enemy in their weak point or avoid a hazard that comes along the way. You can also use it to get past barriers to gather power-ups. This is fun and very innovative gameplay. That's Dimension Drive for the PlayStation 4. And next up we have Shantae Half-Genie Hero Ultimate Day 1 Edition for the PlayStation 4. Being the Ultimate Edition, it contains all of the previous DLC on the disc. And for the Day 1 Edition, it includes an official art book and a soundtrack CD. This is another game I've done an unboxing for on my channel, so make sure to check that out. This is a side-scrolling platformer. And I didn't know at the time, but the PlayStation 4 version of this is exclusive to PAL territories. Enjoy and discover Shantae's greatest adventure ever with vibrant 2D platforming bursting with epic boss battles, with hours of content and bonus content included. That's Shantae Half-Genie Hero Ultimate Day 1 Edition for the PlayStation 4. Next up we have Super Hydorah for the PlayStation 4. This is the Classic Edition from Limited Run Games. Another game I've done a full unboxing on my channel, make sure to check that out. I show you everything included in the box. The Classic Edition features a ton of cool extras, including a retro style box, kind of like a Super Nintendo box, and a soundtrack CD and a huge poster. This is a horizontal scrolling shoot 'em up game with retro inspired graphics. Stand ready for the battle of the universe. An evil force has launched an invasion over the Omius Star. Equip your ship, select a route, and fight planet by planet against the hordes of enemies. That's Super Hydorah for the PlayStation 4. And finally we have Velocity 2X Critical Mass Edition for the PlayStation 4. This edition includes all 3 expansions on disc, as well as a soundtrack CD, a making of documentary and a studio booklet. And this game is fantastic, and it takes you between 2 different styles of gameplay. Firstly, you have vertical scrolling space shoot 'em up action as you blast and teleport your way throughout the levels. This is coupled with side-scrolling platforming with elements of run and gun, as you race through environments, dodge hazards, and shoot and teleport your way through barriers. GameSpot gave the game 9 out of 10, saying it's interactive poetry. Polygon also gave the game 9 out of 10, saying it's a fabulously tight, eternally replayable arcade game. And Push Square gave the game a mighty 10 out of 10, saying it's everything that a game should be. That's Velocity 2X Critical Mass Edition for the PlayStation 4. So there you have it, those are all of my video game pickups for June 2018. If you liked the video, please leave a like or a comment to let me know what you think, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as that really helps me out. I've been MVL, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.